evening. I'm not gonna speak that much because I have to clean my room, and reason why I'm not cleaning my room and then making a video after is because I don't really have time. So instead, I'm going to clean my room and make a video. Kill two birds with one stone. First things first is I want to talk about today. Today's Sunday evening. It's 9:27, so I'm going to bed soon. I've kind of ceased making videos. I know I wanted to make 2 videos a day, which I know is possible, but at the same time it's a bit of a stretch. So I'm just glad I'm making a video now. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to that routine. If not, that's fine. Crap. Don't know what that was. Very weird. Anyways, this weekend's been alright. I had a thing called the Winter Sleep Out last Friday, and that was quite fun. I think, yeah, it was quite enjoyable. I'll talk on that a little bit later, maybe. But essentially, for this evening, I wanted to speak about, I guess, progress. I don't think I've made much progress since last time I spoke. About my life, about my habits, about this, I guess, pursuit for bettering myself. I'm kind of aimless. I feel like I'm a bit stuck. I'm moving without direction. I'm like a lost traveler. I'm going in circles and in circles, never finding my footing. That's weird. But I've given in quite a lot this weekend. I went back to old habits, watching God knows what on YouTube or online, or streaming services. I indulged in old habits. I went back in and I gave in. I'm not happy about it. At the same time, in order to succeed, I have to know why. Why do I give in? Why do I seemingly do things with the knowledge that it'll lead me down the wrong path, a bad path in the future? Like, for instance, I have like an assignment due, and I have time to do it, but I don't do it, and then I miss out, and I actually miss out on an opportunity for my teacher to mark me and actually do their job and teach me how to improve. Instead, I avoid my work. I avoid seeking feedback. I avoid all these things that in the long run actually will benefit me. It's like there's reasons. I don't just aimlessly avoid things just because I do them. I'm not lazy because that's just the way I am. That's not the case. No, I don't believe that. As a person, I know I'm capable of doing, making hard work. I know I'm capable of doing good things, but unfortunately, there's something that's preventing me from doing so. So it's about understanding why. The why factor is very important. So, why do I think I'm even in this situation in the first place? Why am I avoiding my tasks? Why am I failing at school? Why am I so unhappy with who I am? You know, why? And I think, obviously it's due to a multitude of reasons. It's not just one definitive thing. There are big contributors. Like at the same time, it's not a combination of very small things into one big thing. It's like one big thing, but then another few small things, and another big thing, or maybe medium-sized thing. It's very it's a variety of things. So, what are the big ones though? I think one of the big things for me is my upbringing. What I mean by my upbringing, I mean by how I was raised. Whether I was whether I did something bad, was I taken accountable? Was I disciplined when I was young? Whether maybe my parents did something wrong, or maybe I did something wrong, and it causes me to suffer from till this day. So to give you some context about my childhood, from ages 0 to 10, maybe 12, 13, I think the first issue I had is the fact that I neglected work at a very, very young age. When I was in primary school, if there was a work assignment that I didn't understand, I wouldn't put my hand up and ask. I would just sit there and do nothing. And for some reason, I felt that was safer, more comfortable than actually asking the question. Maybe because I was too scared to ask, or maybe because I didn't think I thought it was pointless to ask, or maybe because, I don't know. But ever since I was young, I've always avoided help or feedback. I've always felt more comfortable just avoiding it. Even at a young age, again, if there's a worksheet that I didn't understand, or a question that confused me, I would never ask. I would always just honestly, I would just sit on my table, look at the question, and do nothing. I wouldn't ask. I wouldn't ask even a partner or a classmate. I would just look at the work and do nothing, because I was stuck, and that's just what I did. And even till this day, I still do that. I can recall many accounts where, in my high school life, where there was something I didn't understand, or there was a thing that it was just taking me too long, I wouldn't ask, because I was scared. I was it's a little bit anxious, and the excuse I give myself for not asking a teacher for help is I'm already too far in the lesson. Wait, the big excuse I give myself is because it takes me so long to actually, I guess, make progress with a work assignment. It takes me 10 minutes to start the first section of a work that should only be probably done in 5 or 2 minutes. And so after 10, 20, 25 minutes passed, and I'm still at that first section, I feel embarrassed. I feel that I might as well not ask my teacher, because I'm so far behind in the lesson that I don't want them to think of me as stupid or unintelligent, or maybe I don't know, it's less pleasurable asking the question than it is just laying there and doing nothing, because in that case I can avoid it. I can be comfortable. I don't have to face reality. I can just sit in my bubble and do nothing, which is something I've grown very comfortable doing. So that's one reason why I think I haven't thrived in my academic, like the academic parts of my life. If I were to think about, say, home life, why I haven't been doing homework, or why I struggle with homework, and why it's difficult for me to establish good habits, I think it's because, like with regular work, I'm very comfortable with avoiding things. Like during the COVID-19 pandemic, I didn't work, I didn't study, I didn't do anything. All I did throughout those past, I'd say, 2 years is watch YouTube or movies or play video games. I never actually worked, which was fun and fine for that period. But then that's, when you go back to school, you really miss out on all that learning you could have made, you know? And I feel like as a result of that, I've kind of disadvantaged myself, I missed a lot of school even before the pandemic. And right now, I'm really feeling the consequences of those habits I made at that time, Because, during the pandemic, I saw a work assignment that I had to complete. I'll be like, oh, I can avoid that. I saw something and maybe a little bit stressed out. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll go on YouTube. I guess I've trained my brain to think of things like YouTube or entertainment or gaming even. I've programmed my brain to think of those things as escapes that, I've programmed my brain to resort to doing those things when I have something like a work assignment or I want to improve at something. When there's a responsibility I have to enact on, my brain just responds to that by going on YouTube, by playing video games. And it's not intentional, it's habitual. Like even when I was in the bathroom, I just had a shower, right? I didn't have my phone on me. But the fact that I was in the bathroom, my brain just thought to myself, oh, I should get my phone out. I should watch YouTube because the bathroom I think is a good place. I just routinely when I use the bathroom I'm on my phone. But the fact I didn't have my phone on me. But my brain just naturally thought it wanted to go on my phone. I wanted to go on my phone in the bathroom. Now I'm saying this, it doesn't sound like at all surprising. But I give in constantly. And every time I give in, I think to myself, oh, why did I do that? Why did I give in? I know it's bad. I know I have things to do, and I continuously give in. But it's moments when I'm in the bathroom, or when I'm on my bed, or when I'm walking, and then these feelings come in. It makes you realize giving in to things like YouTube or gaming, they're not really intentional. They're feelings that cause me to want to fulfill it, I don't use reason or logic to give in to, or just, I don't like using the same word too much, but I don't use reason to watch YouTube. I use feelings, right? So it's illogical for me to watch YouTube at 8 a.m. at night, because I have this to complete, this to finish, and another thing I have to work on. But despite that, I don't use reason to give in to those things. It's emotions, they're temptations, they're desires that aren't conscious, they're subconscious. And as a result, they're much, much harder to fight back, because They come out of nowhere, and when they come, you kind of forget about reason. It kind of spaces it out. It pushes it at the back of your mind, and that leaves you with like the perfect environment to give in, which I think is a reason, a potential reason why I spend so long on YouTube or gaming and never enough time on things that actually make me happy, like exercise or reading or even like attending to habits that I've wanted to start but never gave myself a chance to start. Like YouTube. I'd love to try YouTube. I'd love to make my own videos, and learn how to edit and learn how to do so many things. But I don't, because first of all, YouTube is difficult. Learning how to edit is difficult. Filming is difficult. All these things are very difficult. And why would I spend so much time perfecting a skill when I can just go on my phone, escape into this world, this bubble in my mind, and just pretend to live in that fantasy, you know? I'm getting the reward without the hardship. But the catch is that it isn't real. It's not real. It's fake. It doesn't exist. It won't ever exist. And the issue is you either submerge into it more, you give into it more, and increase like the reality of it, which can only get you so far. But you can either like delve deeper or you can get out. Now, which is easier? Delving deeper into fantasy, giving more consistently, forgetting about hardship, forgetting about pain or stress or responsibility, and just living happily, not happily, but blissfully, without real expectation or pain, but at the same time without any satisfaction, any happiness, any true happiness, any surface level pleasure, like beyond that, you know? But at the same time, the alternative, which is getting out of it, making a man of myself and doing good, it's very enticing as well. But the catch with that is I have to deny this. I don't have enough time to give into YouTube and to do other things I want to do. I don't have enough time. And at the same time, it's very hard to balance it, because this is the opposite of what I'm trying to achieve. It's pure pleasure. And when you're trying to do things that are difficult, my brain just resorts to pleasure as if it's a magnet. So like, they're a mix. They're a mix. I'm 15. I'm turning 16 next month. After that, I'll be 17. And after that, I'll be 18. I'll be an adult. These teenage years are withering out. And soon I will, time is running out. Time is running out, Cody. And sooner or later, I will have to make a decision. And I want it to be the right one. The right decision, the right call. I don't want to live the rest of my life doing what I'm doing now. Yeah, Call of Duty is fun. Yeah, YouTube is pleasurable, and sometimes it hits that right spot of comfort and pleasure and somewhat satisfaction. Yeah, it is fun, but doesn't happen often enough for me to risk so much of my life doing it every day. I have so much on my plate. I have so much potential in this life. Like, really think about it. I live in a first world society. I don't have to struggle as much as most people in the world do. And yet I'm living as if it's a right. As if I have time, as if I don't want to be happy. I know that this life is a privilege. I know it's a gift. I know that I don't own it. But I guess I just zone out of it. Despite knowing this, I can just forget about my reasons and forget about my logic and like resort to animalistic behavior. Just mindlessly do things without consideration. But I don't want that. I do not want that. So, yeah. You're right, I think, like, another reason why I give in so much to just broadly entertainment is because of three basic factors. The first factor is that it's enticing, very pleasurable to think about, very blissful when you're in it. You know, it's something that just it's when it can happen, when you have the opportunity for it to happen. It's just the first thing that comes in mind. The second factor is that it's an escape. Oftentimes, I feel stressed. It's not like crazy amount of stress. It's just teenager stress. An assignment I have to complete. Um, the chores I have to do. The I guess the emails I have to reply to. Just very basic level stuff that anyone can do. They are responsibilities, and they are quote unquote displeasurable. And when I avoid them, they build up, and when they build up, they stress me out. So what do I do when I'm stressed out? I escape into YouTube, and I avoid reality to escape stress and difficulty and pain. Pain. So yeah, naturally I'm inclined to watch YouTube or game because it helps me forget about the bad parts of my life. And the third factor is that when I'm in it, it's very difficult to stop. The way I imagine it is like a current, right? Thinking or trying to stop it it's like fighting against a current, a very strong one too. And if you want to get scientific about it, you think about how, like, the neurological aspects of the brain. My counselor, she says, the nerve that is associated with the ability for my brain to choose YouTube is very large, very powerful as a result. It's very strong because I give in so much, it's grown to a large size. And the willpower I have is very small because I don't use it that much. So, to imagine it like that, me choosing YouTube, I'm feeding a very strong nerve into my brain that's grown in such a large size where it's like, physically speaking, it's unlikely that I choose to stop, right? So when I'm actually in the process of watching YouTube or even listening to music or escaping, getting out of it is a challenge, until I snap out of it a few hours later and I have to face reality. Huh? Yeah. That's basically it. I'm going to bed soon, so I haven't even cleaned. But yeah, good video. Appreciate the fact that I'm striving to win despite this. If one thing I can note about this experience is that it's very, very hard to discipline yourself. It's very difficult because you have to navigate the world of, you're trying to develop willpower on your own. You're trying to kind of reinvent the wheel. And if you're not, really enthusiastic about it, it can consume you like a whale. So, I kind of wish I had someone that could, take accountable of me. Of course, I have my sister and I have my dad. I don't want to stress him out, which I feel like could be my downfall. I'm taking a really big risk continuing to choose to do this alone. I mean, I'm not doing it alone. I have a counselor I speak with, and I have teachers I could speak with, and I can't speak with my dad. But still, if I haven't found success doing this on my own before, what makes me think that I can do it now? It's a very powerful phrase. Not phrase, it's a very powerful statement. I don't know. I don't know at all. I mean, I'm making videos, which is an improvement, but it's slow. It's not genuine improvement. Videos don't really solve the problem. They're just a thing to, a structure to help me solve my problem. Finding out why I do things will help me understand how to avoid them. But that's if I try. That's if when I come home with the desire to improve, which I do. Every day I come home from school, I come home with the desire to succeed, but every day I will end up going to bed at 12 or 1 a.m. or p.m. No, 1 a.m. Being a complete failure. So there's obviously something that happens within home time that causes me to change suddenly. And I think it's because for some reason I still have this idea that I have time. like what I mentioned to you, YouTube and gaming, I use YouTube as a very frequent example, and that's because it has such a big part of my life. It's I just like not only trick myself, but I just fall into the same loop of discomfort, of giving in. Yeah, it's a loop. It really is. It's a loop. I give in, I give in, and I give in, and I really really think this about myself. I think I like it. I mean, I don't love it, but like this continuous back and forth with denying and then giving in and denying and giving in. It's not the best thing, but at least it's the same. I think deep down I don't want to change. I think deep down I'm okay with staying this way because it's comfortable, like, because it's almost scary to change, you know? Which is weird because the only constant in my life is change, but I'm not, like, I feel like a genuine improvement is so taboo to me because I've been doing this for so long that the idea of genuinely um, improving for the better has almost become like like fictitious. Doesn't seem real. I'm so used to just thinking about success that I don't think I believe that I can achieve it. But then there are cases where I'm genuinely, absolutely, completely unhappy with myself. And I genuinely have the desire to change. But then that fades away. So it's about remembering. It's about remembering these feelings, about remembering these conversations, and not forgetting about them. So tomorrow, the day after, where I look at my phone and I think about giving in, I realize to myself, hold on, this actually impacts me very deeply. So yeah, that's it. Um, what do I want for tomorrow? I think I think another reason why I tend to fail or give in or fail in the loop is because I live aimlessly. I just hope things happen. That's not gonna work. So tomorrow, what do I intend to do? I intend to read. I intend to maybe work on an assignment, right? I'm gonna work on my English paragraphs. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read a book. Doesn't have to be the Bible because I've been reading the Bible quite frequently. So I just want to give myself a break from that. Read something else, and I also want to meditate. I would like to see the sunset, but it takes a lot of my time. I don't know. Like these videos and sunsets, they take a good portion of my time, and then I don't give myself enough time to do other things. Lastly, I want to mention that one other potential reason why I tend to do badly in my academics is because I I intentionally avoid work because like when I'm at home, like I think I program my brain to think that home time is no work time. I don't ever study at home. Really, really ever. And as a result, when I even think about it, it becomes anxiety inducing. Even thinking about it, my brain just kind of shivers. Not shivers, that's an exaggeration. But you know, it's very difficult to study at home for me. And yeah, I forgot my point. Um, but yeah, that's the reason why I tend to do badly in my academics. Probably the biggest reason, because the fact that doing work at home is so scary that I use that as an excuse to resort to YouTube. I think it's probably, if not the biggest reason. It's not YouTube itself, actually. It's the fear of doing things other than YouTube. Huh. I always thought it was because YouTube is so enticing and tempting that I give in. But no, actually, I think it's because these other things are so difficult that I just resort to YouTube. It's not because YouTube is addictive, but because doing other things is so, I guess, challenging that I become addicted to YouTube or gaming or music or even walking. Like, honestly, I realize now, like, I could go a week with or weeks without social media, but it's because of these responsibilities that I have that I resort to social media. So like, you know, like say I have a work assignment and I say no, I'm not doing any YouTube. Still, if I have like an assignment, I will find other things to do to avoid it. Like I would go for a walk. Like I would literally go for a walk for 2 hours. Just, you know, walking around my neighborhood again and again and again just to avoid a work assignment. I will meditate, I will clean, you know, I will make food, I will do anything to avoid this responsibility that I have. So maybe it's not YouTube that's my problem, it's the fear of work or responsibility that's my problem. I've never actually thought of it like that. That's actually very cool. That's the positive thing about these videos. They're not just, you know, things that help me remember or catalog my time or my experiences. They actually help you understand yourself more than you do now. So yeah, you know, very cool. Anyways, thank you for watching. Um, yeah, I don't know. If you are watching this, you have really good patience. I know when I try to watch like other people's reflections like mine, I kind of get a bit tired, you know, I get a little bit bored. I know how boring it can be watching one of these videos. But you know, like, it's still interesting. It's interesting, like, watching videos on people's lives. You know, people you probably won't ever know talking basically to themselves. So it really is interesting, you know. I don't know. I'm yapping now. Okay.